We are back here again, and I have more Black Americans that are talking about the Asian boycott. And so many Black Americans want to change it from being Asian American boycott. They want to say we're just replacing Asian businesses in the Black community with Black owned businesses. And people want to let you guys know nobody is hating any group. They just want the Black community to do better, and not to take any bullcrap from people that mistreat us and dog us out. I think this is a good video of so many people. We got Asian Americans in this video, and they are also telling their side of what's current going on, because Asian businesses are still closing shop, and people are affected by it. So check this out.
I want to say replace Asian businesses. Replace Asian businesses with Black businesses. Instead of even saying Asian boycott, that it should be more of we are using this opportunity to focus on ourselves. Instead of making every other community rich and being the catalyst for their economies, we need to start focusing on how we can do this. And we've lost sight of that because we have become dependent on other people to come into our communities and give us what we want, but they don't give us anything. We give them. So it's important for us, now that we've come to this conclusion, to really capitalize on it. So let's turn it around so they can't say that we're trying to hate them and we're pushing this narrative. We don't hate Asian people. I don't hate Asian people. I don't know about anybody else. Plus, Asian is a big, big word. Asian is a big, big word. You have Korean, Mandarin, Thai, Chinese, all kinds of Chinese, Vietnamese, Japanese, Filipino. Then you got the Indians that are in Asia. Shit, Russia. Goddamn it. Asia's big. That brush is too big for me to paint that much. I'm going to use this opportunity to start looking for more Black-owned businesses and recycling our dollars in communities where the people live, where I live. So I know those dollars are going to come back some kind of way. Instead of saying boycott Asian businesses, we're going to say replace Asian businesses with Black businesses. Replace Asian businesses. Voila, you too. I'm sorry. I love your pierogies and corner store sandwiches, but you gotta go too. Sorry. And to them evil ass Dominican bodega owners in New York City, because when I visited, y'all followed us around the store and we was visiting from Atlanta, San Francisco, and y'all were assholes, complete assholes, and y'all was almost darker than me. Ugh, I hope y'all close. Definitely replace them motherfuckers. I'm not telling you what to do. This is just a suggestion. By no means am I taking away from the fact that Rick Chow murdered and his son murdered Cyrus Belton. I'm not taking that away. You have every right to be angry that people come into our community and don't respect us, that they think they're better than us because they have a business and that they're making money from us. They should be at our feet. Also, we should be mad at the system as well, but let's replace it.
And I love you so much. If you want to stand in solidarity with us, we love a good ally, but I'm going to be honest with you. This is not a boycott. This is a change of lifestyle for a lot of us. This is us being more intentional about our people. If it was a boycott, go ahead and do you 3 months. Don't fuck with them. If that's you standing in solidarity, a lot of us have to alter the way that we move to do what we're doing right now. You understand what I'm saying? Most of us, I'm not even going to say, most of us have to alter the way that we move to accommodate this new lifestyle that we're stepping into. Black people are in a transition right now, and our lives are altering. I am a person who goes into a hair store and spend $300, $400 gladly. Y'all see how many wigs I own. So this is something different. This isn't like, oh, well, we'll be back in there. Hell no, I'm not going, because I can honestly say this. Now, the hair store that I specifically go to, they treat me like they're cousins, but they're not Asian people in there. They are, I think, they're not Asian, but they're not Black American either. So I have to let that store go. You understand what I'm saying? And it's sad. I be in there so much, but I'm not going back. If it's not Black owned, Black American owned, I'm not doing it, because you have to stand for something or you will fall for anything. And I think that the black community is finally understanding, like, nah, fuck all of that. Now, are we working on stuff as far as we are as business owners? Of course we are. We're going to get better. We're going to grow. We're going to expand. But this is a new economy that we're building for our people. And we don't require solidarity. We don't require nobody else to join in, because we got this. But if you would like to, I would like you to understand this is not a boycott. This is a lifestyle change. This is a wealth transfer. We're tired of giving our wealth to everybody else. So we want it to ourselves.
The Asian community has been happening in America for almost a century. And the conversation is currently being had without historical context. And that vacuum gets filled with emotion and bad faith. Black frustration reads as anti-Asian. Asian defensiveness reads as anti-black. White supremacy wins both times. But the thing is, black people, we treat people the way they treat us. The tension is a distrust and distancing based on patterns and our history of anti-blackness with this country.
Blacks in the South have such a low social status that you simply can't be seen in public with them and still expect to have any respect. Civil rights movement helped the Chinese to attain certain status among the white world, more or less. Whereas we didn't have anything gained in the black world because they didn't have nothing for us to step into. Well, you know, we didn't march. If that's what you mean, why didn't we get out and march? And well, I guess the best answer is that I'm a coward.
People often have the same rebuttal for black people identifying racism and racist systems working. Why do you guys make everything about race? What about black people doing X, Y, Z? And that's always a deflection. A dehumanizing talking point to say, why would I need to have empathy or understanding for you when, according to this country, you're not fully human? Going back to that tension between the Asian and black community, it is definitely manufactured by the system of white supremacy and the government giving them preferential treatment above blacks during Jim Crow and after. And while everyone wants to talk about this tension and this history, nobody wants to talk about who built it. So let's start at the beginning with some historical context, because I truly believe every immigrant group in America needs to learn black history, not out of curiosity, but to educate yourself on the way this country operates and treats everyone non-white to uphold the white positioning.
How the Chinese came and just settled in the Delta from Memphis to Vicksburg. I mean, just look at it. It really filled a particular need because nobody else wanted to do it.
These stores played a uniquely important role in the segregated South, serving the black community when the white community wouldn't.
After the Civil War, white plantation owners had a problem. Enslaved black people were free, and we were done working for them. So the solution was to import Chinese laborers, not out of goodwill, not out of opportunity, but specifically to replace black labor and discipline black freedom. The governor of Arkansas said it plainly. The goal was to punish black people for leaving the plantation and control the conditions of their work. That's the origin story. Chinese people were brought to this country as a weapon against black people, black freedom, not as equals, as a tool. The very reason for allowing the initial Chinese immigrants was out of spite. We will see this happen often in America when it comes to the intended harm and oppression of black people. But as with most things with America, the story is way more complex and complicated than that. Asians are not a monolith. East Asians treat Southeast Asians differently within their own community. And you arrived at different times here. But the Chinese, Japanese, and Koreans have a very specific relationship with the American government and as the earliest Asian immigrants to arrive to this country. So seeing Southeast Asians like Filipinos hijack this combo in order to spew racist anti-black sentiments is very weird.
The black community constantly complains about racism, yet here they are doing the same exact thing they complain about to Asian Americans. For some reason, instead of taking accountability, the black community will just blame it on white people. Or like this person who thinks that Asian people want to be white. I hate to tell you, but Asians love being Asian. We don't want to down.
The Chinese Exclusion Act of 1882, Japanese internment, the 1917 Asiatic Barred Zone. These groups had a hostile and complicated government relationship that's distinct from the post-1965 Immigration Act wave that brought many South and Southeast Asian communities.
What did it mean to grow up Chinese in a black and white space?
Now, when I was growing up, the expression, we had a Chinese grocery store on every corner. You know, the laws at that time were so limited, but not applying to the Chinese.
Segregation was nothing more than a pseudo way of carrying on slavery. How did they end up in the black neighborhood?
They are still people of color. Can only go so high.
They were allowed to go to the predominantly white schools, whereas blacks were not allowed to go to the predominantly white schools.
And at school, they were mostly white kids? Did you feel
all white kids.
How did that make you feel?
No mingling at all.
The Chinese who came to the Mississippi Delta weren't white. They weren't black either. They existed in this in-between space, classified as colored, barred from white schools, but some were allowed to go to white schools, subject to the same Jim Crow architecture. So they found the only economic niche available, grocery stores in black neighborhoods. And there's a reason that niche was open. Black people were being systematically locked out of bank loans through redlining. Banks deemed black neighborhoods too high risk for black people. But those same banks would lend to Asian business owners willing to operate in those same neighborhoods. Same block, different access. The system just didn't allow this. It manufactured it. Black communities couldn't build their own economic infrastructure because the capital was being deliberately withheld and someone else was handed the keys. But for that model minority crowd, that access was conditional, and the condition was anti-blackness. The Gangnam case in 1927 is the receipt. A Chinese family in Mississippi sued the state not because segregation was wrong, but because they didn't want their children classified with black children. The mother said it herself. I did not want my children to attend the colored schools because the community would have classified us as Negroes. She wasn't fighting for equality. She was fighting away from blackness. And it worked. White Mississippi noticed. Gradually, Chinese grocers who distanced themselves from black social life upgraded their stores for white customers and performed proximity to whiteness. They got access to white public spaces, then white schools. The price of admission was rejecting the community they'd been selling groceries to for decades. Sociologists call this racial triangulation. The system places one group above another, not at the top, but above as a buffer. And the cost of that buffer
capacity. The level of entitlement to think that you can dictate how someone else decides to spend their money. There's still a mental ownership that other races of people wish to maintain over us. We're expected to rally in the streets for everyone's causes. We're expected to vote a certain way. We're expected to spend our money with certain people. And if we don't do those things, apparently we're racist or we're not a POC ally, as if everything that we've done in this country hasn't laid the groundwork for everyone else to come here and have any semblance of success. I just need people to remember that Black people are not anyone's slaves, physically or mentally.
The black boycott of Asian businesses, I agree. And guess what? It's not a boycott. Y'all Asians, get over yourselves. This is not a boycott. We're just going to support black-owned businesses. That's all we're going to do.
Y'all just going to get less business.
Yeah, I mean, open up your Chinese restaurants in your own neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, open your nail salons, move the nail salons from our neighborhoods to your neighborhood. And you know what's so funny about Asian neighborhoods?
Mm-hmm.
Outside of the big cities with the Chinatowns and all this kind of shit like that, like in San Antonio, Asians are here. They own all the salons and, you know, all the nail tech salons and all that type of shit like that. But where the fuck y'all live at? Because I don't know what the Asian neighborhood is, because we ain't got no
Yeah,
Chinatown
I ain't never
in San
seen the
Antonio.
Asian neighborhood.
Where y'all hood at?
I keep getting a lot of comments that basically be like, why are all your videos about the black community boycotting Asian businesses and only spending money with yourselves? Why does that make you so mad? Say the words. Say them out loud. Because we already know. And it's not a boycott. Black community. BC, are you with me? Oh yeah, the black wealth transfer ain't going nowhere. BC, are you with me? Oh yeah, the black wealth transfer ain't going nowhere. BC, are you with me?
I saw this thing online of how the black people are not going to these salons or this. They are seriously boycotting these Asian people. We are not funding them anymore. It's empty. Look at this. I thought it was a joke. Ain't nobody in there. Wow. Look at this. They are not playing. Talking all of that shit about the niggas, and the niggas ain't going in there to buy you nothing. Wow, I thought it was a joke, but they are not playing with these Asian people. Ain't nobody in there. Saying they don't need the black dollar. Uh-huh.
So one issue that I really want to talk about as an Asian American, specifically an Asian American who has grown up around a lot of African American people, a lot of Black people, I have Black cousins, is that the issue of boycotting Asian businesses is not against Asian people. It's the protection of Black people, and I feel like a lot of Asian people are not understanding that. The reason why this is happening is because on May 28th, 2023, a young boy, 14-year-old Cyrus Carmack Belton, was chased at a convenience store and killed by an Asian man. This made the Black community stand together and be like, the Black community has been seeing that the Asian community hasn't been allies to us. They haven't been treating us the way that we need to be treated as fellow minorities, as people. And so we are going to be boycotting Asian businesses because, frankly, racism is very rooted in Asian culture. A lot of Asian cultures, it's seen as gross when you're dark-skinned. It's honestly disgusting how they treat Black people. And so, honestly, I fully agree. I think that Black people should be able to choose where they put their business. And I think that Black people having the right to protest these Asian businesses will really show who's an ally. Now, Asian people watching this, if you are offended by this because you're like, oh, not all Asian people did something wrong, it's our job to show that we are allies to the Black community. It's our job to speak out against this happening. It's our job to prove to Black Americans that Asian people can be trusted. This is only happening because, frankly, we haven't done enough to show the Black community that we are allies, like that we have their back. It's been decades of Asian Americans and Black people sharing cultures, and recently there's been an uprising of a lot of Asian Americans being quite hateful to Black people because they want to be seen as more white than all the other minorities. And I think it's very important that we as Asian people handle this situation with a lot of grace. Because yeah, a lot of Asian businesses are being harmed, they're being broken into. And I honestly don't think that's right. I think that is completely unjust. I'm not going to speak for the Black community, me personally, but I just think that breaking in and harming Asian businesses when they haven't done anything is very counterproductive to the fact that we want everyone to be allies to each other. Frankly, at the end of the day, we're not white. We're never going to be white. The white people aren't going to like us. But Black people have been there for us for, like, literally decades. So we as Asian people need to show our allyship if we really want these Black people to be comfortable coming to us for business, coming to us for friendship, coming to us for anything, really. There are so many Asian-owned businesses where they're owned by immigrants. And I think that Black people have the full right to be weary of these businesses because, frankly, a lot of Asian people do have the reputation of being very racist towards other races. Yeah, that's just me wanting to put my 2 cents in.
Instead of saying boycott Asian businesses, we're going to...
You know?
This is not a smart move. So apparently the large Asian beauty suppliers, like the supply chains and whatnot, they're trying to counterattack the boycott by denying Black business owners access to purchase goods. This is not smart. Like, do you realize, given the money that we have, we'll just go elsewhere. We'll just pay another country to create the goods for Black people that are probably better for our health than the chemicals that we get from China. That wasn't smart. There's an entire beauty supply chain industry built around creating or manufacturing Black beauty products in Asia. What do you think is going to happen to those companies over in China that are the supply chain for beauty products if we decide to just get them elsewhere? Are they just going to continue to sell beauty products to Asian chains that aren't making any money or even able to sell them? Because why would those chains even buy any more product if they can't sell the product they've already got? Things are getting really interesting. And they don't realize they're supporting characters, not main characters. I mean, when it comes down to the products themselves, well, we can actually manufacture a lot of it, but we can also help the diaspora by allowing them to use our formulas in order to manufacture. You know, they like to talk about drug dealers and all that other shit a whole lot. So let's go with that for a second. What happens when the people you sell to find another supplier? You guys either have to take out that other supplier, if you can, or you're just going to sit on the drugs you've got because you can't sell them to anybody. And pretty soon you're going to get sick of sitting on all those surplus drugs, and you're going to have no choice but to sell them to the people who are asking for it. Right? Now, I say this, and I'm likening beauty products to drugs because beauty products are sort of addictive. They are. But what happens when we go, okay, you want to try to block us from having our own businesses by not allowing us into the supply chain? We'll just create our own supply chain. They're either going to have to go out of business or include us in the supply chain at the prices that they are including Asians in the supply chain. Hair, we'll talk to the Brazilians. The majority of Brazil are black of some kind. You think we can't just go directly to them to buy the hair? You think that China is going to be able to hold that back? They're not going to. They're an entire ocean away. We'll just talk to India directly. Y'all don't seem to know who y'all are fucking with, and this isn't smart. The reality is, y'all should have just been like, you know what? It's about time that they do support their own and create their own businesses and create their own way. It's about time. But instead of doing that, you guys are going to try to force us? Force us? I'm sorry. The last time anyone tried to force us to do anything, plantations burned. You really think you're going to force us? No. This isn't smart. It's not smart. Good luck to them in this endeavor.
An Asian content creator got on this here internet wearing what can only be described as a Black American starter kit and decided to tell Black people that our money doesn't matter. Okay. According to him, Black people need Asian-owned businesses more than Asian-owned businesses need Black people. A boycott wouldn't move anything. The loss wouldn't register. Our dollars don't count. Now, this might just be me, but if I genuinely believed that somebody's money didn't matter, I don't think I'd spend my afternoon making a video about it. So naturally, I went looking at the history. Because this conversation isn't really about just one video, right? The very second that Black people start talking economics, where our money goes, who profits from it, who builds wealth off our communities, people get uncomfortable. That same discomfort doesn't appear when other groups do the same thing. Every immigrant community that's come to this country has done it. Jewish, Chinese, Korean, Italian, Indian, Armenian, pooling resources, building businesses, keeping their money inside their communities for as long as possible. Nobody finds that controversial, though. But what they fail to recognize is that we understood the same thing. We had to. After slavery, Black communities built banks, hospitals, insurance companies, schools, newspapers, whole business districts. The Greenwood neighborhood in Tulsa, Oklahoma had 191 businesses. It had 2 schools, a hospital, and a library, all by 1921. They called it Black Wall Street. But on May 31st, 1921, a white mob attacked it. 2 days of looting, burning, and shooting. But it's us, right? We're the problem. 35 square blocks destroyed.
More than 1,200 Black homes, businesses, schools, and churches, y'all, burned to the ground. World War I era planes dropped bombs from the sky on the Greenwood neighborhood. The official death toll was 36. But we know the estimates were around 300 Black people killed, murdered. The survivors were rounded up and held in internment camps in their own city. They were issued identification cards and couldn't leave without permission from a white supervisor. Insurance companies refused every claim. They had something called a riot clause. Not a single Black resident ever received financial assistance to rebuild. So when somebody gets on the internet and tells Black people that our money doesn't matter, I automatically think they're a dumbass. A racist dumbass. Corporations spend billions chasing Black consumers. Political campaigns spend millions trying to reach Black voters. Entire industries are built around marketing to Black communities. Our money matters. It mattered enough to burn a city for it in 1921. It mattered enough to redline neighborhoods for the next 50 years. It matters enough that every quarter, somebody's profit and loss statement depends on us showing up. Apparently our money matters right up until we start talking about where we want to spend it. Then all of a sudden it doesn't. Right? Nobody's entitled to Black customers. We spend our money where we want. That's how markets work. That's how capitalism works. That's how every other community inside this country operates. The fact that this becomes a controversy every time Black people say it out loud tells me that this was never about money. It was about leverage. And this country has been comfortable with Black spending. It's Black leverage that's always made them nervous. But if you know anything about me, you know I love a good challenge. Shop Black. Spend with your people. I'm gonna show you better than I can tell you. We gonna show you better than we can tell you. Invest in Black businesses. Build the community. Y'all, we are overdue.
The tension between the Black...
When we try to see this time around, I think some Asian, they are taking this boycott too far. This Asian businessman came out to go on this Black beauty supply to ask them, who is your vendor? Where do you get your product? You are trying to control them, how they spend their money, where they order their things. Is it your business? Can't you list? Why you think that when Black people choose all this to happen, you want to bring law and laws, want to threaten to control them of what they are supposed to do or what they are not supposed to do? Does these two things really necessary at this time around? Let's check on this video, then we'll come back with more commentaries.
Hey y'all, so today at the hair district, we got paid a little visit from this cat right here. He told me his name was Mike and he was the owner of Beauty Palace in the East on Diamond Road. So I thought that was a little funny because we way on the west side and we deep off from a railroad. And he supposedly came here for one bottle of Camille Rose. But I was in the back and the girl started paging me saying that we had somebody here walking up and down each aisle on FaceTime talking about all our prices. I said, on FaceTime you sure? So yeah, sure as shit stink. The boy was walking around here on FaceTime showing all our prices and stuff like that. So of course I come out the back, I approach him and I ask him if he need help with anything. Immediately he jumps into, hey, did the vendors in this area open these accounts for you or are you getting this shipped from your friends that you know? I'm like, what does that got to do with you? Like, why are you worried about that? I want to know, did they open for you? Well, that ain't none of your business, bro. That ain't none of your business. So I politely asked Mr. Mike, hey, bro, come up out of my stuff, get up out of my store, walked him out the door. So if y'all do me a favor and tell Mr. Mike, leave our vendors alone in this area and leave us alone, Mr. Mike. It was already hard enough as it is to get these vendors and get these accounts open.